Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Sorry, my camera's not working, so you just have a photo of green chess pieces. Once again, thoughts, feelings, prayers, condolences with the passing, with Daniel Naroditsky's family on his passing. Sorry, bad start to the recording. We're going to power through anyway. It was the final round of the US Chess Championship. Yesterday was a very exciting day. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make a recap. That was mostly due to my exams. There were 4 decisive games, and what was most important was a win for Wesley So with the black pieces against Darius Shorts, and a win for Fabiano Caruana against Amambaidu Mishra, meaning into the final round, Fabiano Caruana leads Wesley So by half a point. So we need to then look at his game first, because a win for Fabiano Caruana means he wins the US Championship. He's got the black pieces against Levon Aronian. We have e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5. A Spanish game. And this is typical Spanish stuff. Castles, they go for an open Spanish, which is not something you always see. d4, the bishop to e7, rook e1. Now b5, beautiful move. You take my knight, I take your bishop. Still unclear if that's better, actually, for any of the particular sides. Rook takes e4, d5. Knight takes e5. Obviously, this is theory. It's a beautiful, beautiful rook sacrifice. Shout it out loud. But obviously the idea is if you take my knight, I'll take back with the rook. If you take my rook, I'll take your knight and hit your queen and everything, and then I'll get my bishop out the way and stuff like that. So a beautiful knight sacrifice. This is obviously theory. The only choice is to take the knight. Rook takes, and now we take the bishop. And now we just play b3. Short castles. We sacrifice. Because look at this. Queen takes, and now bishop to a3. Just liquidate everything. Look at that. Beautiful move. Don't need to take this back because mate is threatened. So we force queen to f1. King takes f8. The knight comes out. And this game, it was the final round. I think it was quite an emotional day. Daniel Naroditsky's funeral was a couple days ago. It affected the players. And these guys just kind of trade off pieces and make a draw. So what that means now is that Fabiano Caruana has a little bit opened the door for Wesley So. Because that half a point means now Wesley So must win to force, I don't know if it goes to tiebreak games or if they use the traditional chess tiebreaks. Either, but he must win. e4, c5, a Sicilian defense from Grigoriy Oparin, who's had a rough tournament. Knight to f3, knight to c6, a traditional open Sicilian. Knight to c3, e5, knight to b5. You know, this is a bit of a Sveshnikov with e5, traditional stuff. Magnus has played this before. d6, the bishop to g5, a6, kicks the knight back, and now b5, sorry, the English is not Englishing today. Knight ab1, which is just a crazy move. Bishop to e7, we take, and now we play a4, b4, knight jumps into the center. That's what you wanted as white. You wanted control of this d5 square. This is weak. You're going to control lots of awesome squares. Bishop to e6, short castles. Now bishop to g5, just getting out the way of this. And now maybe the bishop's more useful on this diagonal. Queen to d3, a5, just making sure that pawn is not a target. Although now the bishop could probably come in here. We first play c3, takes, knight takes, activating the knight. Rook c8, and just simply b3. And Wesley So does have a much better position. He is +1. But this is going to take some winning. Knight to b5 first. Now we're putting pressure on this. It's not obviously hanging just yet. g6. So maybe this bishop is going to reroute back that way. Rook ad1. Bishop to g4 targets it. Forces f3. Committal move. Bishop goes back. Because pawns don't go backwards, but the pieces can. Knight comes forward. And now we take. And now the best move is obviously to take the knight, which is what Grigoriy finds. And now the game is level once again. Knight to b5, takes, and now we have this. And this can become a weakness. You still have minor control of this because of your rook and the pawn, but now black does have a source of counterplay. So we give check, force the king to h1, and now bishop to e7. Rook occupies d5, but rook to c6. f4. Wesley So goes for it, and f5. Crazy stuff. And also, Wesley So is up half an hour on time. He's just playing this position beautifully, because I think it's a relatively intuitive position for white to play. Black has to find all the best moves, and that's taking time. Bishop to g5. Look at that. We take. Queen moves out the way. You might say, wait, hold on. Why don't I just take this? Isn't this free? No, it's not. Because queen takes a5. Wait, what? Queen c5. If takes here, what's wrong? Fork. That's the problem. And there's no way to go here because you will still take the rook, and the queen is protected. And this will be a better endgame for white, probably. So we get queen to c5. Sorry. Takes, and now c5. This is Wesley So's. This is what's going to win Wesley So the game. Everything else is locked down. You might say, what if he pushes here and comes and mates? It's not going to work. So the bishop drops back. Now we play rook to c1, rook to d8. We grab in the center, which is always dangerous, because the king was forced to h1 a long time ago. So you've always got to be careful of back rank tactics. Bishop takes c5. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not the sacrifice of a bishop. You cannot take it. Because if queen takes, for example, I take. And you take, you get back rank mated. So queen to c3. So Wesley So just lost his biggest asset. Now, to win this game is going to be much harder. We give the king luft, but the bishop drops back. Rook to c1, f1 rather. Queen slides over here. Now we're going for like a kingside attack, but it's not quite working. We can take. Now look at this. You might have just opened yourself up for your own attack. And your knight is just stranded on the other side of the board, because this bishop is really well placed. It controls all the access for this knight to try and get back in the game. So we try it now. If you want to take it, you can. But we look at that. We go for a queen trade. Because I'm threatening mate. So you have to take. You do take. Now your knight admittedly gets to a better square. But this endgame, Wesley So missed half a chance. It's not even clear where he went wrong. It's not intuitive. The engine doesn't give anything as a mistake. Just minute inaccuracies. And eventually the game liquidates into this rook endgame, which still might have some play for white, but it's not enough. Because black gets their rook behind the pawn, and there's nothing you can do. Just give checks, and here they agree to a draw. So that does mean, ladies and gentlemen, that Fabiano Caruana is your United States champion.